Hey everyone, I'm Tara. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to your ancient yoga practice. I do want to give you a little background and history before we get into the flow so that you could just have a better understanding on where this practice has drawn inspiration from. So yoga's been around for quite some time, like BCE, years a while, but our earliest yoga texts really don't show yoga poses in the way we think of them today. So for this practice, I am still drawing inspiration from a very old text. It's just not the oldest text, so it's going to be from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. This text is from around the 15th century, and it's one of the first texts where we do see yoga poses in the way that a lot of us think about. So it's a very old text, not nearly as old as yoga itself. And with that said, just because things in this book are old and ancient doesn't mean they're better than what we do in modern day, but I do think there is beauty from drawing from ancient sources and connecting with the origins of yoga to really just help us connect with the lineage of this practice and to honor where this practice has come from. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend every practice that you find in this book, but there certainly are practices and yoga poses that are absolutely wonderful. So today I chose 5 different yoga poses to incorporate in our practice that you can find in this book. We will do a warm-up first, and there will be certain transitional poses in between that aren't from this book. So when we are doing one of the 5 ancient yoga poses that I chose for today, I will let you know when we're doing it. Okay, with all that said, we're going to start sitting in kneeling if that's comfortable. Otherwise, of course, you could sit in easy pose. Okay, so find your comfortable seat, sitting up with a nice tall, straight spine, either kneeling or easy pose. I know I've been talking a lot, but one last thing before we get into the practice. Just because a pose is ancient doesn't mean it's necessarily right for everyone. So if you have any conditions, injuries that limit how you should move, please modify as needed, or you could always hold off on a pose. Sit in easy pose with the spine nice and straight and join back in when you're ready. Okay, all right, finding your comfortable seat. You're gonna close your eyes. We're just gonna tune in for practice. Let the hands rest on top of the thighs, palms facing upward. Relaxing through the sit bones, grounding down, and then growing tall up through the spine all the way to the crown of the head. Awareness on the breath flowing in and out the nose. And draw the hands into prayer at the center of the heart, continuing to watch the breath. And just take a moment to honor the lineage of yoga. Offer your gratitude to the teachers who have come before us, and for India, the land where this practice is from. Carry this gratitude with you as we move through our class today. Taking one more moment here. And then release your hands down. You could blink your eyes open, and you're gonna meet me in standing. We're gonna warm up with a few sun salutations together. Okay, so standing in Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat, feet draw together, slight bend in the knees, palms facing forward, hands down at your sides, shoulders melt down. We're going to modify our first sun salutation together, and then if you would like to take the full variations after, you can, or you can continue to modify. So on your next inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale as you take a forward fold. Inhale for flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, step back to plank. Drop the knees, lower to the belly. Inhale up for low cobra. Exhale, press back to all fours, making your way to downward dog, and breathe. Trying to keep the breath in and out the nose. If Ujjayi breathing is in your practice, you can take that through the movement part of our flow today. Start to lift the heels and walk the feet up toward the hands. Inhale for flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands come back through prayer. And breathe. Okay, next sun salutation. I'll offer you chaturanga to up dog. If you don't want to take that when I say chaturanga to up dog, just drop to the knees, lower down, and come up through low cobra like we just did. So inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale for flat back, hands to shins or fingertips to ground. Exhale, step back to plank, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, everyone press back, down dog. Ardha Matsyendrasana, and breathe. Pull the hips up to the sky, press between index finger and thumb. Let the heels sink down. Knees can be bent or straight. One more breath. Lift the heels. Walk the feet up toward the hands. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands through prayer. Breathe. One more sun salutation, whatever way you would like. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, take your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank. Lower to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. One more breath. Lift the heels. Start to walk the feet up toward the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Arms reach overhead. Exhale, draw the hands into prayer at the heart. Breathe in mountain pose. Feel the effects of the sun salutations radiating through the body. Okay, making our way back down to the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe taking a couple extra breaths in your forward fold. Come up through a flat back. And then just step back to downward facing dog. So stepping all the way back to down dog. Breathe. And last little warm up here from down dog. We're going to rock forward to plank and back. So you're going to inhale into plank. Exhale, wave back, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Two more. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale it back, downward dog. Inhale into plank, hold plank, breathe, pull the abs up and in, keeping the core nice and strong. Wave it back, down dog. 2 breaths. Coming forward to plank one more time, either drop the knees and lower to the belly or lower down with control from plank, keeping the elbows close to the body. Okay, so we're going to be doing Dhanurasana next, bow pose. So this is our first pose that is found in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. We're all going to modify first, and then when we do go into the full variation, just remember, we still did a short warm-up, so you might not have a super intense back bend for today. So just keep it gentle, and if you want to continue with the modification, you of course can. Okay, so we're going to do 3 of them. Hopefully my mic's okay. I have it in front of me here. You guys can rest your forehead on the ground here so you're not taking tension in the neck. So everyone's going to modify first. So you're going to bend the knees. The arms are going to reach back, Okay. You're gonna lift up, try to lift the torso up, lift the feet up to the sky. They're not gonna go very far. So you lift through the upper body, squeeze the shoulders down and back, push the soles of the feet up to the sky. Again, the legs aren't gonna go far, and breathe. Feel those low back muscles working. One more breath. Lower down, you can place one hand on top of the other. Rest the forehead on the hands. Let the low back relax. Okay, that's stage one. Feel free to continue on with that. If you would like to move on, we're going to reach for the feet next, but we're not going to take the full variation. So we're still only going to go part of the way. The knees are going to bend. Reach back, hold on to the outer ankles. Okay. You're going to push into the feet, start to lift the chest up, but I just want you to feel like you're doing about half your range. Okay, so you're not going super hard. Pull the shoulders down and back. Breathe. Let's go for 2 more breaths. And release down, one hand on top of the other, rest the forehead down. Okay, so that was stage 2. Stay with either of those options, or if you want to start to move into a deeper bow pose where you really do try to lift while holding the feet, you can, again, just do what feels good for your body. All right, taking your variation. If you're moving into the full one, you're holding the outer ankles, you're pushing the feet into the hands and starting to maybe lift a little higher. Keep the neck in neutral. Breathe. 2 more breaths. And then lower yourself down again, one hand on top of the other. Rest the forehead on the hands. Feeling the effects of bow pose, Dhanurasana. Feeling the effects of getting that extension through the back. From here, you're going to place your hands under your shoulders. Either go to all fours, make your way back to down dog, or you could press up into plank and then wave it back down dog. 2 breaths. So our down dogs and our child's pose today will be used as neutralizers, just because we're going to be moving the spine in different directions. So these poses kind of help neutralize us before we move into the next direction. Drop the knees down, cross the feet behind you, come to sitting. Okay, so our next pose is one of our poses from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and it's going to be Ardha Matsyendrasana, or a spinal twist, or half spinal twist. So for this pose, I actually am going to modify for everyone. The variations in the book require a lot of shoulder mobility, which I think for a lot of us doesn't feel great on our shoulders. So it'll be a slight modification. So it's not exactly what's in the book, but we're still taking inspiration from this ancient source. So go ahead and tuck the right foot in and cross the left leg over, okay? So right foot tucks in, left sole of the foot plants on the ground. Okay, you're gonna reach the right arm up, and then you're gonna twist, bringing it across the left leg, extend the hand out. So the hand's extending downward. The left hand is gonna go behind your back, resting on your waist. So I'm putting the back of my hand on the right side of my lower back. You're gonna go tall through the spine, and then maybe twisting deeper. Staying connected with the breath, trying to keep the breath flowing at a nice steady pace. If you feel like you're tightening through the sit bones, just let them relax down. Maybe turning the gaze toward the back shoulder. Breathing into it. Remembering our intention of honoring the lineage of yoga, offering our gratitude to the teachers that came before, who really just kept this tradition alive for so many years. One more breath. Slowly unraveling to center. We'll switch sides. So the left leg's gonna tuck in. The right's gonna cross over, sole of the right foot on the ground. You want the sit bones to feel relatively even on the ground. The left hand is gonna go across the right thigh with the hand extended. The right hand's gonna rest behind your lower back. You could also even try to hook it around so it's more on the kind of upper part of the left hip, more on the pelvis. Growing tall through the spine and then maybe twisting deeper. Breathing into it. The length in the spine is more important than the twist here. And remembering to always honor your body, doing what's right for you, what feels good for you. A few more breaths here in Ardha Matsyendrasana. One more breath. Slowly coming through to center. Bring the legs back to like an easy pose position. Moving to our next ancient yoga pose, Gomukhasana Cowface pose. Okay, so this is a hip opener and a shoulder opener. So you're gonna start by tucking the left foot back in, not as close as you did in the spinal twist. Okay, the right is gonna cross over. You're trying to stack your knees together. So you can see the left foot, instead of having it super close in like in our spinal twist, you're kind of trying to get it a little bit out in front, okay? This is a lot on the hips, and this is stage one. You don't even need to go into the shoulder opener. So you could simply just rest the hands on the knees, grow tall through the spine and breathe. If you want to take the shoulder opener, you're gonna be reaching the left hand behind you. You're trying to get the back of the left hand kind of toward the mid upper back area. The right arm's gonna reach over and you're gonna interlace the fingers for a shoulder opener. Okay, this won't be accessible for everyone, so choose what variation works for you. Remember that you can rest the hands atop the knee and breathe. And at any point you want to close your eyes, go within in these poses, go for it. Let's take 3 more breaths. Okay, if you have the interlock of the hands, release. Okay, everyone's gonna shift back and we'll switch the legs. So the right leg is gonna be on the bottom, the left is on top, trying to get that stack in the knees. Okay, and just taking a moment before, even if you're doing the shoulder variation, to just settle into the hips. Breathe. Maybe resting the hands atop the left knee. Stay there, or if you want the arm add in, the right arm is gonna reach behind, back of the right hand is reaching behind, kind of between the shoulder blades. Left arm reaches up, getting that interlock of the fingers, growing tall and breathing. Okay, so sometimes in our yoga poses or in our flows, we'll fold forward in Gomukhasana. So for today, we're not doing the forward fold. We're working on growing tall through the spine. Settle in, breathe. 3 more breaths. If you have the arms, release. Everyone's going to bring the hands behind, bringing the legs out of that position. Rocking to the hands and knees, taking a wide leg child's pose to neutralize. So toes together, knees wide. Sit back into the hips, reach the arms forward, forehead to ground. Balasana. Breathe and relax in child's pose. Slowly start to make your way back up. Feet cross behind, come to sitting. For our next ancient pose, Paschimottanasana. Okay, this is your back stretching pose. It's a lot on the hamstrings too. So just remember that as we move into it. So the legs are gonna go out straight in front of you. And for this one, like I said, it's a lot on the hamstrings. So if you have super tight hamstrings and you can't sit up tall with the spine straight, with the knees straight, what you're gonna do is you're gonna modify. You're just gonna let your hands rest next to your sides. You're gonna let your knees bend, okay? You're gonna keep the spine tall and then slowly see if you could start to maybe shimmy the legs a little straighter. Okay, so that's the variation you're gonna take. So if you can get the knees straight, you can of course still sit tall and work here, or you could take your forward fold, but you wanna find length in the spine as you fold. And it actually does say that in the text, so that's something that I do agree with from a modern lens. So starting to hinge forward, so maybe to find length in the spine and hinge, you just hinge a little bit and you could just rest the hands somewhere on the legs wherever they land. If you want, if you have the mobility, you could start to bring the hands like you're reaching underneath the toes. Grow tall through the spine, slowly hinging forward, okay? But again, we're not collapsing and rounding, we're finding length as we fold. And again, do what feels right for you, and remembering that each day may be different. So sometimes forward folds are a little tough if you're working in the morning. We did warm up, so if you feel good, you can do it, but maybe forward folds aren't right for you early in the day and you want to just stay up tall. So always honoring your body, what your body needs. Breathing, settling in. Remembering to continue offering gratitude and thanks to all those who have come before us. And if you're like me, practicing in the West, just being so grateful that this practice has made its way all the way here. A few more breaths. Okay, we're going to slowly come out. If you're forward, sitting up. Cross the legs back to easy pose. Again, we're going to take a child's pose to neutralize. So come to all fours, come back to your wide leg child's pose for 3 breaths. And then walking up. If you want to lay on your back for Savasana now, you can, or I like a little extension after forward folding. So I'm going to offer that to you too. Coming to your belly, you're going to be on the forearms, landing in Sphinx pose. Keep the lower body relaxed. Let the low back relax. Breathe. One more breath. Lowering down and everyone make your way onto your back for Shavasana. Okay, so in Shavasana, you're on your back. The legs are out straight, letting the feet fall out to the sides. The backs of the hands are resting on the ground. Do a little tuck under the shoulders and then let yourself relax back down to get a little extra heart opening. And Shavasana is an ancient yoga pose. And Shavasana is a pose that might seem easy, but it's actually very challenging because our goal here is to completely relax the body. So relaxing the muscles, letting go, and that is no easy task. So it is a challenging pose, but also an extremely beneficial one, right? We need movement in the body. We need to stretch, strengthen, but we also need to relax. Okay, so Shavasana, corpse pose. Eyes are closed. Focusing on letting all the muscles you don't need to use right now, letting them relax. Feeling yourself melt into the earth. And if you were doing Ujjayi breathing, let that go for now and just breathing comfortably in and out the nose. And I want this to be a more traditional experience. So I'm going to be quiet now and just let you rest in Shavasana. Stay with it. I will guide you out when we're ready. We're going to slowly transition out, starting to gently wiggle the fingers and toes, inviting movement back to the physical body. Slowly drawing the legs closer together, reaching the arms overhead, finding a stretch from the toes to the fingertips. Bending the knees, planting the soles of the feet on the ground. And then rolling to one side. If the right side's comfortable for you, go ahead and roll to the right today. Keep the bottom arm straight to rest your head on the arm. Pause on the side. We're slowly transitioning out. Take your time. Gradually using the hands to walk yourself up to sitting, trying to keep this nice and calm, making your way to easy pose. Bring the hands into prayer at the center of the heart. Taking one more moment to just offer our gratitude to yoga, to all those who have come before. Let's close with a breath together. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale it out. Allow the breath to return to a comfortable pace. Release the hands down. And when you're ready, blinking your eyes back open. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I do have a blog post that goes along with this if you just want to learn a little more. It has the 5 poses in it, and it goes a little more into the history than we did in the beginning of class. So I'll link that down below. Also, I do have a Patreon where each month you get a Dharma talk, a 15-minute meditation, and a 50 to 60-minute long yoga practice where we really do work to go beyond just a physical practice, kind of like we did today. So if you liked this practice, I do really think you would enjoy my Patreon. I will also link that in the description down below. But that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for practicing with me, for showing up for a practice like this. I appreciate it, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you. Namaste.